Hi guys, welcome back to Jack in the Books, and today we are going to be doing a book review of Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk. Okay guys, so I'd just like to preface this review by saying that it's going to be a non-spoiler review, and I will only be talking about the bare minimum as regards to plot, because I don't want to give anything away about this book. Also, I have not seen the film version of this, and I did not know much, if anything, about this book before I read it, other than, what I had picked up as it is part of popular culture, but it did turn out to be a very different book from what I first imagined. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into the review. I'm going to be breaking this review down into four parts. Firstly, I'm going to be talking about the plot of the novel. Secondly, I'm going to move on to the writing style. Thirdly, I'm going to touch briefly on some themes that the novel brings up. And finally, I'm going to give you my final thoughts on what I thought overall of the book and if I would recommend it to you. Okay, so let's talk about the plot of the novel. Fight Club is told by an unnamed protagonist. He works on a job he hates and he's very much depressed. Due to his depression and all the traveling he does for his work, he suffers from severe insomnia. His doctor tells him that insomnia is not really suffering and that if he wants to see true suffering, he should go down to a cancer support group. So he does. And for what I believe is roughly 2 years, I could be wrong on that, he goes to an assortment of support groups for all kinds of illnesses, never giving his real name, and he uses it as a form of psychotherapy for his own problems that he's suffering from. So the plot progresses, and our protagonist eventually meets a man called Tyler Durden, an enigmatic guy who is everything our protagonist isn't, and the two are immediately drawn together. Before long, they're living together, and the two co-found this thing called Fight Club. So Fight Club is a secret club that's held in the basement of pubs across the city where desensitized, depressed men living mundane lives can come and fight one another, all in the effort to somehow feel alive. Palahniuk often talks about near-death experiences as near-life experiences throughout the novel. Now, I don't want to say too much more about the plot for fear that I would give something away, but needless to say, the plot progresses from there and ultimately descends into madness and chaos. So I want to say a bit about the writing style. So the book is written in a relentlessly unapologetic fashion. Palahniuk has stated that the original short story, which the book is based on, was an experiment. Instead of walking the character from scene to scene, he instead wanted to cut, to jump from scene to scene, to show every aspect of the story, but only the very essence of that aspect. The core moment, then another core moment, and so on. And this is exactly what he does. So it's a testament to Palahniuk that I never felt lost at all while reading the story. So the book is split into 30 very short chapters, and each chapter jumps from scene to scene, from location to location, and if you'll excuse the pun, it's like being repeatedly punched in the face, it's coming at you from all directions. Now, while the novel often feels like this, it also takes on a somewhat dreamlike quality, in the sense that in dreams we often jump from location to location without necessarily noticing a transition. We could be in our house one moment and in a completely different location the next, and this is often how Palahniuk writes Fight Club. So the irony that the main character suffers from insomnia, while the writing style often mimics a dreamlike quality, just is something that jumped out to me while reading the book. Overall, the writing style is incredibly gripping and highly readable. Okay, so I'm only going to briefly touch on some of the themes this novel brings up, because honestly we could probably sit and talk for hours just about the themes in this book. Okay, so let's look at what the author has to say first. So Palahniuk has stated in the past that all my books are about a lonely person looking for some way to connect with other people. So for me, this brings up the idea of existentialism and our place in the world and how we should live our lives, and this is evident throughout the book. Throughout the novel, Palahniuk vilifies consumerism. His characters talk of how advertising has these people chasing cars and clothes they don't need. Generations have been working in jobs they hate just so they can buy things that they don't really need. He talks about a spiritual depression, not in the religious sense, but in the sense that we've forgotten what it means to live and not just to exist. We are the middle children of history, raised by television to believe that one day we would become millionaires and movie stars and rock stars. but we won't, and we are just now realizing this. These are the words spoken by Tyler Durden in the novel, and this is just one of his many monologues berating consumerism. And while I'm not sure exactly where I fall on the spectrum of this issue, I totally understand why this has picked up such a cult following. It strikes a chord. It says what other novels wouldn't dare to say. Which brings us to my final thoughts. Now, I loved this book. I thought it was dark, funny at times, and like all great books should, it asked questions that lingered long after I finished the story. I'd recommend this book to anyone. So that concludes my review of Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you took something away from the review. If you did like it, feel free to leave a like down below, and don't forget to comment telling me what you thought about Fight Club, but please keep it spoiler free in the comment section for those who haven't read the book yet. And also don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. Thank you very much.